What would you do if you became a viral sensation overnight? Well, in 2009, Danyl Johnson, a 27-year-old teacher from Reading, took a chance at his dream and shocked the Xfactor world.
That was single-handedly the best first audition I have ever heard.
It took one moment to change his life, but things didn't quite go as expected.
The most overconfident person in the competition.
There's a fine line between confidence and cockiness.
With so much potential, what happened to Xfactor's forgotten viral legend? Did the darker side of fame tear him down? And is virality really worth chasing? Well, 13 years later, it's time to get some answers. We are on our way to finally go meet Danyl Johnson. Every sleepover I had with my friends, we would watch this Danyl Johnson audition. And now I am going to sleep over at Danyl Johnson's house. We want to find out what he's up to and just understand if virality is worth chasing, because as creators, we're always looking for that one video to blow up, but is that necessarily the right thing?
Hey! Hello!
We're rushing around.
Oh, man.
Right, no, you're coming.
Ladies' fair, you get it.
Yeah, Simon Cowell paid for this. Wow, beautiful.
As we were in the middle of casually nosying around Daniel's home,
What's in the fridge?
What's in the fridge, mate?
he went on to reveal a surprising fact about his viral audition.
I remember we'd been there for so long, and I just went and spoke to one of the runners. No one has spoke to me. I feel like I've been forgotten. And they literally were like, "Oh, you still here?" And I was like, "Oh, wow."
Yup, his moment almost never happened.
When I got to go on that stage, I just felt super, super comfortable. Because I already felt like I've got nothing to lose. I'm not going to go through, no matter what, that moment completely changed everything.
But did it change his life for the better or for the worse?
Once you've had the highs, the higher the highs, the lower the lows.
One of his highs after Xfactor was getting his current job.
If I'm putting it down to one thing, what pays my bills, I work for the Postcode Lottery and I am the ambassador for them that goes round and tells people they can take a little bit of a breather because they've won some money. I feel like, as my mum would say, I don't have a real job.
As we tried to dig deeper into his life, we quickly realized Danyl is not one to brag.
Yeah, I think everyone thinks their life is really glamorous, but I think most of my life is just looking after this one and sort of picking up poo. Yeah, you.
But despite his humble remarks, it was clear he had lived a different life than most.
The week afterwards, I had an argument with Whitney Houston.
Had an argument with Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was more to his Xfactor experience that was never shared with the public.
How did your life change after you sang that song and had that audition?
Life changed in 1 second. I was on holiday in the UK. My housemate at the time knew that I was going to be shown on the Saturday, and so he was like, "I'm going to bring my TV at home and we're going to get everyone to come over to the chalet that we're at and watch this." This sounds such a middle class. I know, it's such a middle class story. On the Saturday night, it happened. I had no idea when I'm going to be in a show, but my audition ends the show. The next day, people were outside the chalet. They knew I was there. And then I was just picture after picture after picture. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I haven't done anything. It completely changed overnight about how people saw me. Even to this day, people stop me in the weirdest of places. They talk through their moment of seeing that audition. I was at an event and there's this basketball player. He was there and he was like, "It's so funny because we used to watch your audition to pep us up."
Really?
I was like, "Shut up." He's like, yeah. I was like, "What? Just listen to Guns N' Roses. What are you doing?"
With an audition that inspired millions of people around the world, Danyl became a clear fan favorite to win Xfactor.
I like this boy, teaches kids, great voice, but a great performer. I think he could be one of the best contestants we've ever had.
But as Danyl was riding his high on the show, there were forces behind the scenes planning a descent that Danyl never saw coming.
The most overconfident person in the competition.
There's a fine line between confidence and cockiness that you were starting to develop.
I was vilified on the show because of so many reasons, but it wasn't personal.
Like many reality TV shows, Xfactor wanted tension and drama to keep people watching. which meant bye-bye to Dan the Man and hello to X Factor's #1 villain.
There was a story that I was bullying some girls in the house. Literally tears first week, and to be accused of something like this, like honestly, I wasn't. Even though it felt really personal, it was about an arc, it was about movement, it was about ups and downs and stuff like that. Like I didn't get a week where I wasn't getting a hard time.
Danyl's villain arc was in full swing, but the moment that truly crossed the line for many was when Danyl was outed as gay on live national television.
Turning a girl song into a guy song, but if we're to believe everything we read in the paper, maybe you didn't need to change the gender reference in it.
What?
But at the point, it was the most complained about thing on British TV for, I think, 8 years. Like, Gordon Brown got in contact with me, who was a Prime Minister at the time. Like, there was so much stuff around it, and I just had to be hidden. Like, I wasn't allowed to say a word about it.
Like the show didn't
Yeah.
allow you to speak about it?
No.
X Factor continued to control the narrative, and there was not much Danyl could do about it, even after the judge apologized.
And she went, "Are you okay?" And it's those little moments that you're just like, I have no idea what to say.
Hold up. We haven't been completely honest with you guys. You see, we actually took this clip of Danyl crying from another part of the interview, which had nothing to do with X Factor. But we just wanted to show you how easy it is to manipulate a narrative.
Eventually, Danyl ended up being eliminated in the semi-finals. But despite being vilified on the show, it seems the magic he created during his audition couldn't be tainted.
People come and tell me that audition makes them feel happy. And I was at a department store, this lady finished serving me, and I turned around and she's like, "Oh, Danyl Johnson?" "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, my son has Down syndrome." And I was just like, oh okay. She said, "There's 4 videos that we watch when he's not feeling the best, and one of them's yours. We just wanted to say thank you." And I was just like, "Well, thank you." Hello.
Can I have a photo?
What's your name?
My name's Nikki. You're amazing.
13 years later, it's still clear that the impact he had on people was far beyond any of the negative media that surrounded him.
Oh, thank you so much. You should have won.
What a weird thing in the sense of that sort of like happening just then, like you being here, like I've set it up. Thanks. I'll be at the pub at 8. Yeah, it's very, very humbling, you know what I mean, in those situations. Because it's so long ago, and then people still, you know. Nikki just messaged me from the pub. She said, "Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me tonight. It made my night."
As we experienced firsthand the positive impact Danyl's virality had, we couldn't help but wonder, what if we could make him go viral again? What if this time he could rely solely on his talent to get there, with no one controlling the narrative? So we came up with a plan for Danyl, using a platform that has given millions of views to people, even those with no talent. But first, we gotta get some beauty sleep because tomorrow is a big day. Alexa, play us a lullaby. Go to sleep, stay in range, and I'll see you in the...
Oh my gosh.
He's the best, huh? Danyl is out, which means there's only one thing to do. Can we recreate Danyl's audition?
Right, Stefano, that was
The best first audition I have ever heard.
Man, do you have cameras here in the living room?
What do you mean? It's only if I'm not here or something like that, or...
Okay, good,
Why?
good.
Nothing. Oh.
After successfully branding ourselves as freaks, we got fueled up and ready to execute Project Viral Redemption.
Are you ready to go viral again?
Are you talking to me?
That's the face of a man who knows there's no predicting virality.
I'm not religious in any capacity, but I swear, like, sometimes the higher powers only give you what you probably can take at that time. And it's so funny. Like, as soon as you get it, you're like, I like the old way. That next level is scary. And then you've got to keep it up.
Yeah, maybe we should have listened to his previous warnings, but it was too late to turn back now, and we were fully committed to creating viral gold with 14 TikToks in one day.
Achoo! girl that I once knew. Let's not do it anymore, I feel so cringy.
Despite Danyl playing along with their plans, it was clear that he was never after the views.
I've never ever wanted to just be famous. I wanted to do something that I love doing.
And it was his passion for performing that fueled him to spend years working on his craft until he was ready for his big moment.
Before I did Xfactor, I was 27. I'd already experienced life. I'd already experienced failure. I've already experienced humbleness. And so when it got to this point, I was like, I know what I have to do.
I think that's a reminder many of us who are seeking virality need to hear.
You don't build a house with one brick. And I think that everything happens slowly, like it should, because you're learning. And then when it explodes and it goes crazy, you feel safe because you built it. You cut any corners, it will get you in the end.
Danyl is gonna make Rach an amazing singer with a simple hack.
If you want a high note, where would the high note be? That would be about here, yeah? Imagine it's really high. Okay. If we go on our knees, right? Go on your knees, and then where's the high note? It's kind of here, yeah?
Yeah.
It's above your head. Right, stand up, don't move your hand. Keep your hand where it is, right? Right, now it's in front of you. So now that high note is not where you're trying to look for it, it's up there. So it's the Jessie J song. You need a bad girl to blow your mind, yeah?
Like, that would not work if I was like, yeah, it's now.
Yeah.
You need a
In our mind, Danyl seemed to have it all. The talent, the hard work, and the big moment. So how is he not a global superstar?
For example, when I see you versus someone like Ollie Murs, I felt like you had everything that he had and more. So how come he continued with his career and became who he is versus, and I don't mean this
it's all opportunity based. And I feel that I'm glad that I didn't get the opportunity that I could have got like Ollie, because I think you have to sacrifice so much. If you look at anyone who's super successful and works all the time, they're working, when you're doing your videos, you're working crazy hours. And sometimes you don't get to do the things you want to do because you're like, we have to do this. I've always looked at like my 13, 14-year-old self dreaming. And I would ask them, are you happy of what you see? And they'd be like, yeah. I was like, cool then. I didn't have to worry, I didn't have to chase. Not to say I wouldn't ever again, but I had my moment.
Going into this day, I saw Danyl as the viral sensation I idolized as a kid. But as we spent the day shooting questionable TikToks, I came to appreciate Danyl the person.
I think at the end, on my deathbed, am I going to be thinking, hey man, I did really well and I had I did an audition that a lot of people liked and bought a house and had a car and stuff like that. Like, no, I swear it's going to be a completely other different things. I love the moment like my niece would be just sat on the floor and she'd just like, I really love you, Dan. And I was like, I love you too. And I walked away and she went, Dan? I went, yeah. And she went, are you okay? And it's those little moments that you're just like, as much of the things that's happened to me and that I've loved and fulfilling my dreams of being on stage and singing at the O2 4 times and all that stuff, every single time, the smallest things, the people I've gone out with, my friends, my nephew and niece, my godkids, my favorite moments are like the small things, always.
I realized that part of me is drawn to virality for the sense of significance, to know that I matter in this world and that I can make an impact. But Danyl made me realize that there are other ways to fulfill that desire. Smaller ways that are more within reach but hold just as much weight. As we went back home to edit the TikToks, we felt a shift. Keep working, huh?
Oh, Danyl just sent us a voice message.
Play it.
Thank you so much for all your time and effort. I had a great time. Looking forward to see how it all turns out, and even if it goes awesome or it just goes to one view, I don't think anyone can take away the fact that we had a really, really good time. So yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet.
As we posted the 14 TikToks and watched Danyl reach 500,000 views in 1 week, growing his followers by more than double, the numbers kind of lost their significance. Because if you ask my 15-year-old self if he was happy to have sparked a friendship with Danyl, I have no doubt what his answer would be.
Danyl, I love you.
Don't copy me! That's my move!